Hi guys. How we doing? How is everyone? How we doing today? What's going on, everyone? Let's change this up a little bit. Hey, Yukon. Let's share this thing. Oh, you hear my ducks, don't you? Yep, duck is going crazy right now. So Yukon, can you share this some more, please? I would appreciate it. All right, just the two. Well, yeah, one. Okay, cool. Let's see, let's share this somewhere else. Copy the link. Sure, Yukon, no problem. Alrighty. Hey, B West. Hey, Dom. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for my absence. How's it going, Hell Yeah Bear? Shade. Oh, there we are. We're up to 5. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Let a couple more of you show up before talk about my topic for today. Hey, Debbie. So my topic for today kind of follows along the lines of what, hey Sergeant, kind of along the lines of what Owen's been talking about lately with the pedophiles. But my concern is, are we concerned about the sex offenders in our neighborhoods? Because it kind of fits. Do we know our enemy and do we know ourselves? Do you know who's living in a 5-mile radius of your house that has previously had run-ins with the law and they're sex offenders? Yukon, that's the thing. They're not all considered pedophiles, which is what's awkward about it. The part that's weird is one of the guys in my area was 18 and just so happened to have gotten together with a 14-year-old. That's where it gets weird. Yeah, exactly. The key is at that point, but the state law here in Washington is that the guy was 48 months older than the young lady. And that's when it became an issue. So now the guy's been branded, which he should have been. But the question is, are all of them being appropriately tracked? Are they still registering? Are they re-registering? Are they... So you gotta, Debbie, exactly right. You gotta use your resources to make sure you know who lives within a 5-square-mile radius of you. Because you never know. You may have your nieces and nephews over. It might be your neighbor's kid that you're watching for the day. It might be that your kids start school in the fall and then they're going to start walking home from school. That is a concern. Because if your kids are walking home from school, you got to know who's out there to make sure that they're not walking down the wrong streets and getting into mischief at the wrong house. And knowing that that guy that stops for directions and asks your child, hey, where's this at? Or can you find my puppy? Yeah, 18 and 14 isn't a far leap, but the law is the law, and they straight up said, nope, that's it. Well, and Yukon, the question you got to ask yourself, are they maintaining it? Are the offenders... Well, Shade, that's the thing. The way the law is written, 48 months. The guy happened to be 48 months older than she was. Yukon, if those offenders aren't reporting in like they're supposed to and mandated to, your database is only as good as those that are updating it and maintaining it. So you have to know who's in your neighborhood. The other concern with that is, if you're going to visit your relatives in another town, you gotta make sure that you know who the neighbors are in that town. Oh, absolutely. Dom, you're totally right. When you were dating 2 years younger, you didn't know how the parents were going to respond. You absolutely didn't know how the parents would respond. The parents could straight up turn you in. Oh, Yukon, that's nasty. A 40-year-old should not be having anything to do with a 15-year-old. That's just so wrong. But my curiosity is, now that fellas like James Gunn are getting fired and things like that, is anybody checking where they live? Do they live close to a school? Do they live close to a daycare center? Do they live close to a church or a synagogue or anything like that? That's the questions you got to ask yourself. If you're moving into a new area, are you verifying that database and saying, Dom, you pointed it out. You have a neighbor that's on the registry, but you're aware that that neighbor exists, and you are aware that your children should not go play over there. That's the key. But something else, here in my town, I looked on the registry, and one of those guys was a two-time rapist. The guy straight up pulled a woman down on the ground as soon as she got off the bus and going about his business to rape the woman. And then he did it again. And when he went to go do it again, the cops caught him in the act as he was trying to follow a woman down. So just because these guys are classified as sex offenders and potentially pedophiles, there's nothing saying they won't change course and go after somebody older. That is still a possibility. Their taste could change. They could go after somebody older, and that's creepy. That's creepy and still something that needs to be watched. Still needs to be made aware of. Still need to know who's... You're walking down the street. You don't know if that's the particular, fella in the registry or not. You don't know. So that's why periodically I bring up maintain your situational awareness. You got to. Because you could be that person getting off a bus. Be getting off that bus, and that kid be the one person that you don't want to cross paths with. But if you're aware of who's in your town, you can keep an eye out for such people. And besides, anymore, neighbors need to keep an eye on neighbors. Because you don't know if your neighbor's aware of who's messing around in the neighborhood, who's the registered sex offender, who's the felon that recently got released from jail. So that's where that whole situational awareness piece comes from. Because if we're not watching that, that's when something's going to happen that you least expect. So, give you a little update on the garden. The garden, last night the ducks broke into the garden. And so my garden took a little bit of damage from my ducks. The ducks love the garden. They love eating anything they can get their hands on in my garden. Yes, and that's the mama duck talking to me right now. Right here, this is the lettuce that was doing well, but mama duck decided to take advantage of the garden while my wife and I were away. Yeah, let's go check on the old ducks. Hey, Steve. Good to see you. Hey, Field of Bears. Let's see. Let's check on the ducks today. Duck is on the left. Noelle is on the right. And they're very talkative. Oh, guys. As well, Noelle is no longer broody. She has laid 2 more eggs. As you can see right in there in the duck house. She's no longer broody, so she will not sit on those eggs anymore. I still have a chicken that's totally broody, you guys, and it could hatch a light bulb right now. It's actually rather funny that a chicken is so dedicated to hatch freshly laid eggs when we don't have a rooster here. But she is bound and determined to do it. So let's check on her right now. Oh, there she is. Still as broody as ever. Oh, look at that, guys. She went after the camera. She almost got it. Yeah. No chance of ducklings this time. We gotta wait for Noelle to go broody again. Although that doesn't mean Duck doesn't mind getting his practice in while the next time she goes broody comes around, because he loves his practice. I mean, he's a duck after all, and he's gotta make good use of his equipment. There we go. Let's get out of that bright sun. So, wife is doing well. To answer your question. And my kiddos are still gone for 2 more weeks. They come back on the 15th of August, and they are enjoying time with their grandparents in Wisconsin. They've gone to lots of swimming lessons. They got to go horseback riding once on some mini horses, so that was cool for them. If I get a rooster, name him Mai? Oh, that's funny, Field of Bears. Oh, Debbie, you leaving? Bye, Debbie. So let's check on this old grape plant. You guys haven't looked at it in a while. Let's check on it. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Some baby grapes growing on there. Look at that. So cool. This is the first crop of grapes. Also got some grapes growing over here. Just little baby grapes. They're supposed to be seedless, so let's see how that works out. Yeah, got any grapes? Yeah, Dom, you're thinking the duck walked up to a lemonade stand, didn't you? That's hilarious. I hadn't even thought about that. They're supposed to be seedless table grapes, Field of Bears. Seedless table grapes. That's what we're supposed to have. Oh, who wants to see duck right now? All right, here's duck as usual, standing by, ready to go for a run. Here, duck, you want to say hi to the people? Yes, duck life. He's got an easy life. Yeah, you guys want to see if he'll do it live? Let's see if he'll do it live. I'll go find a spot to set this camera down. Oh, Dom, my Noel is a daily laying duck. You will have one egg a day per duck. All right, let's see if he'll do it today. All right, we're gonna set this down and see if he'll do it. All right, come on, duck. Let's do this. Oh, you chickened out. Your girl talked you out of it, didn't you? He wants to, but his girlfriend keeps talking him out of it. Keeps talking him out of it. You guys can hear her in the background. She starts squawking at him that he shouldn't go running. So funny. He tried, but he didn't go terribly far with it this time. Alright, in the house we go, guys. Leaving the ducks behind. So, to kind of summarize my topic, that yes, I do eat the duck eggs. They're awesome. They're totally legit. They're great for baking. You just mix them in if you're going to make scrambled eggs. And you do get an egg a day from a duck without fail. Totally fun. Oh yeah, Yukon, it would be a blast for a whole big bear hang. That would just be like the coolest experience if we could pull that off. Yeah, that's funny, Dom. Oh, and if you add a duck egg to, say, cookie dough or cakes or frosting, they are totally awesome. It thickens up the batter. It's just amazing. My daughter loves the duck eggs. She eats one duck egg, one chicken egg whenever she gets a chance for breakfast. Totally loves them. So, and ducks, yeah, they are rather messy. My patio gets covered with duck crap quite a bit. But yeah, duck eggs are definitely bigger. They make plenty of manure, that's for sure. As you could see from the duck pond. Yeah, YouTube needs to fix the notification issues. You're totally right. Anyhow, make sure that you verify the registry for your area. For sex offenders, pedophiles, people that have been recently released from prison that are still on the registry. You got to stay on top of that. If you don't stay on top of it, you're putting your family, you're putting your loved ones in jeopardy. And that's not cool. Well, I'm glad the notifications are kicking in. That's awesome. So, guys, I just want to. Oh, do you? That's awesome, Steve. That's really cool. It should be. I think it should be as important as Amber Alerts. That if somebody moves into the area, it ought to be put out with the same emphasis as Amber Alerts because it's just as significant of an issue. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If 17-year-old, well, that's the thing, Field of Bears. If he's 17, and what if she's 13? She just turns 13, he's 17, almost 18. It's it's a gray area at that point. It really is. It comes down to, are the parents allowing the consent? Because if the parents aren't allowing the consent, they're going to press charges. It's no different than if you want to say you're engaged to her. She's 16, you're 17, almost 18. If the parents change their minds and you guys have gone too far, they could press charges. Because sure, some states it's all about what their age of consent is. And that can totally change. Oh, Yukon, they totally do that here, and that's a big deal. It is a big deal. The weird thing is, I don't know if you guys were aware, but sexting with somebody underage can get you on the registry. Because a fellow that used to work for me started sexting a girl, and he ended up getting prosecuted, and he's now registered. And he got kicked out of the service for it because he was under charges, and with a conviction, the military can let you go. And it was all because he sent messages inappropriately to somebody underage. Oh, Steve, you're totally right. Yeah, she said she was older. Doesn't matter, Field of Bears, because she was still living at home. And so the parents pushed through the prosecution of that case. Yeah, exactly. ID, ID, ID. You're right, Dom. That's totally legit. That's a real deal. Because you never know how that's going to turn out. And make sure it's a valid ID. Fake IDs is a common occurrence nowadays too. I mean, they get into dance clubs. They're drinking. I mean, fake IDs is a thing. So you you better make sure. So just to close this one out, guys, make sure that you maintain your situational awareness. Make sure that if you're going to exercise your right to the Second Amendment, make sure you're trained. Make sure you're practiced. If you're going to conceal carry, make sure you're aware of the laws of the area you're in and the area you may be traveling to. Because if you cross state lines, the rules change. Make sure that you exercise your First Amendment appropriately. because we don't want to become like the United Kingdom that the minute you say something, you get thrown into jail. Or in the case of some folks, you don't want to end up getting fired from your job because you posted something on social media that was inappropriate. So that's my point of view on things, guys. Please like this, share it. Feel free to, if you care, to throw some PayPal to me if you're interested. Make sure you, Dom is telling me that he's getting ready to stream soon. Field of Bears is going to stream. Steve, that was a fun stream today. Eric Nemers was on that interview, which if I had to tell him, he needed to turn up his volume because he was hard to hear. Had a good stream from Owen today, guys. That was awesome. So, and you guys feel free to comment on this after I sign off. If you have any suggestions or you want to know any more, feel free to hit me up. Have a great night, guys, and I'll talk to you again soon. Yes, Steve, just before I finish this off, Owen did announce your stream. Just so you know. So yeah, word of mouth seems to make all the difference in the world, you guys. Take care.